Good morning. My name is Huntyr Schwegman, and welcome to the continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College, where we highlight various programs and events happening each week at NCCC. This week we're highlighting our wonderful athletics department, highlighting a little bit about our fall athletics programs. First up, we're going to sit down with our athletic director, Dr. Riann Mullis. Hey Ryan, how's it going?
Everything is going really well.
So Ryan, what do you do at the college?
I am the athletic director, so I oversee the athletic department. This will be my sixth athletic season starting this fall, which is very exciting. I also serve as the Title IX coordinator. In addition to those roles, I serve on a lot of national committees for the National Junior College Athletic Association. So I serve on the Division II Oversight Committee. I chair the Division II Volleyball Committee, and then I'm also on the Competitive Cheer Committee. And then for our region, which is Region 6, I'm Assistant Women's Director.
Oh, so you're out there getting our name out there and making sure that we get what we need here at the college as well as everybody else nationwide.
I think it's very important to take the opportunity to be on multiple committees and be able to see what's going on nationally. I think that can benefit us here locally and help expand our knowledge on athletics, and then also provide more opportunities is always the goal. So it's a great opportunity for me, and I'm very appreciative to serve in multiple capacities.
Yeah, so Ryan, we'll just hop right into this. Last year, the Panther Athletic Department as a whole all year long had a pretty good year, but especially the fall sports. We'll start with soccer. Men's and women's both had a really great year, finishing up in the top three of the conference. Men picking up their second straight conference championship. Volleyball had a great season. I know they had a few different all-conference players. And cross country, obviously, 22nd in the nation for the men. Women finished just shy of their best finish ever. So having such a great year in the athletic department, obviously you want to get better, but when you have such a good year, break some records, set some new standards for yourself. Where do you guys go from here? How do you improve?
Yeah, so we just continue to build off those successes. For soccer specifically, men and women had the best season in program history. Both were co-conference champions for the conference, and then men were Region 6 champions. So I know that they're looking for the pure championship title and not sharing that co-championship. And so that's how they're looking to improve there and making it to the national tournament. They were both so very close. So I think that's a big goal that both of those programs have. I think the same goes for volleyball. They were very close to being selected for an at-large bid for the national tournament. And so I think that this year, that's the big target for those programs, is to make it to the national tournament. And then as far as cross country goes, now they want to be top 15 rather than top 25. So there's always room for improvement. Even teams that go undefeated are like, well, next year I want to go undefeated again so I can have that back-to-back season or whatnot. So the competitive nature of athletics, we always find a way to make it better every year, which becomes harder and harder the more success you have. But that competitive nature always entertains a challenge, and that's exciting.
Right. You talk about the soccer teams wanting to get that outright conference championship this year. One of the changes you guys announced earlier was that Aaron Dowsett would become the women's head coach, and Elliot Chatterton would be strictly the men's head coach. What kind of led to this decision, and then how do you think that'll benefit both programs?
Well, I think what led to it was just the fact that we wanted to have each team have their own head coach. That is, the sharing of head coaches used to be the norm, and now that's evolving into every program has their own head coach. That's part of the evolution of athletics these days. And so we wanted to progress forward, and we felt that the best decision in order to progress and to accomplish some of those goals that we just discussed for soccer in particular was to define a head women's coach and to give both programs head coaches. And both programs have went above and beyond and have excelled, and naming Aaron as the head women's coach is only going to help progress that and move it forward.
When you do have such a good season where multiple teams are doing well, but especially individual teams, how does that help your guys' recruiting? I know you're not necessarily the direct recruiter, but you're talking to your coaches, helping them out. Like, how does that help this situation?
Oh, it helps tremendously. I mean, everybody loves to win. Everybody loves success, and that's contagious. And so the more you win and the more success you have, the more attention you're gaining, and people want to be a part of that. And that's something really special. And so it helps, and it gives us an edge in recruiting of, hey, we just won conference, or hey, we're top 15 in the nation. That's very enticing. People want to be a part of a winning culture. And so we take a lot of pride into that. And now it also makes recruiting more difficult because in a way you're recruiting against other very successful teams. So what puts you over the edge, and you have to navigate through that. But that's a good problem to have. But success breeds success, and people want to be a part of that, and that helps with recruiting.
Yeah. And then outside of just showing up to games and cheering on the Panthers, what kind of ways can people support the athletic department here at Neosho?
Oh, in so many ways. And we have such a great support system. And so we appreciate everyone's support. But of course, we always want to build and expand on that. So currently, all of our home games are free admission. So anybody can come to our home games for free, which is great. So we encourage people to come out and watch all the games.
And we're one of the few community colleges that does that, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah,
We
so
are
it's a
one
great,
of the few.
great thing.
And then our streaming is also currently free. And we are also one of the only community colleges in the state that offers free streaming. So we want to encourage our fans near and far to attend our games at no cost. And then in addition to that, we have the Panther Club, which is our form of a booster club. And there's information on our website, or they could contact me directly. There's brochures in the bookstore. There's brochures at our games. And you could join Panther Club and be a fan and make contributions. And those contributions go directly to enhancing the athletic department and allow us to have free streaming. It allows us to provide additional benefits to our teams and things like that. And then in return, our Panther fans, receive free seats or free meals, depending on the level of Panther Club that they sign up for.
Next up, I spoke with head track and field and cross country coach, Trey Bruton. All right, coach. So how long have you been coaching here at Neosho County?
This is my fourth year with cross country, and it'll be fifth year in track because I came in January during COVID.
Yeah, and you guys had a pretty successful year last year. Why don't you just highlight some of the achievements that your cross country team achieved last year?
Yeah, on the cross country side of things, our men finished 22nd at the national meet, and our ladies were 27th. Got ranked toward the end of the year, so that was really good for us. Just development wise and stuff. We weren't ranked most of the year, and then kind of came along at the end and had some success, and we're pretty happy to get to take both teams to the national championships this last year. So.
Yep. Cross country is a fairly straightforward sport. Not a lot of playbooks and things like that you have to work on. But who are some of your key returners from last year, and maybe who are some of your athletes that you're looking to make some bigger strides this season?
Yeah. On the men's side, we lost a majority of our team. We have Tristan Hickman is coming back. He's our number one returner. Hunter Hill, he graduated this last year, but he still had his season of cross-country eligibility, so he's returned to do that. Newcomers-wise, Noah Laird here the first few weeks has really shown that he's going to be somebody that can really help our team this year. And we got a whole host of other guys that can factor in this year. We're not very talented, but we have a lot of potential to develop this year. So that's going to be the whole key this year. If we want to make the national meet on the men's side, we're going to have to develop. On the women's side, Amy Stiles is one of our top returners from last year's team, as well as we call her Rena, but Vilorina. She's a girl from Fiji, and she came along really well last year, especially when we got to track season in the 800 and everything, but we're expecting her to have a good cross-country season as well. newcomers on the ladies' side. Wendy, she's from South Africa, and she's going to really help the women's team have a front runner. She's looking to try to break our school record and everything, and have a chance to do well at the region championships and the national championships. The school record holder actually won our conference championships when they set the school record, so she's got a good chance to do pretty well this year, and that's kind of her goal, is shooting for that. So we're excited about that, and excited about all of the other newcomers that we have that can really factor in there and help us in the cross season and building that base going into track season. We should be much better on the women's side this year in cross country, and then they'll all really, really help our women's team to even be more successful when we hit track season.
Yeah, and then like I mentioned, cross country is a pretty straightforward sport, but what's something about your training regimen, how does that kind of go on a day-to-day basis that people might not be aware of?
This year we had to adapt our training regimen a little bit. We don't have as many distance-specific kids this year. We have a much heavier load on our middle distance group, so I've essentially cut our training back quite a bit, almost in half for a good number of our student athletes, just to fit the area that they excel at best, but also try to be as successful as we can on the cross-country side of things. Our harder workout days are typically Mondays and Wednesdays, and recovery days Tuesday, Thursday, with pre-meets on Fridays, and then a lot of our meets are on Saturdays. And just working to try to increase our VO2 max levels and our lactic threshold levels, especially with this group. They're less on the distance side of things, so a little less VO2 max. So we have to really work kind of the lactic threshold area, and just try to set them up to be able to still perform well, but using the meets, knowing that they're somewhat kind of our longer runs for the week for some of them, just based on our event area when we hit the track. So it's a different group. It's a different type of training that I've had to focus on than most in the past. So it's definitely been something new, but I'm excited to see where things go this year.
Yep, and then some of those events that you guys are going to be going to, what are some of the notable ones that you're looking forward to maybe make a name for the team or try to make a big splash at some of these bigger events?
Yeah, our early season meets, we try to keep it back a little bit, where on the guys' side, they switch from 5K to 8K at the college level. Women's side, they don't really switch. They are making a transition at the higher levels to running longer distances, but junior college, we're still set on 5K for the ladies as well. But we try to keep it back where they're not running, the full 8K right off the bat. But the first couple meets are typically pretty exciting for the kids because they're night meets and they get to run them under the lights and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a fun atmosphere. At Hutchinson will be coming up this week, and then the following week at Rogers State down in Tulsa. So it's just, those are just to get our feet wet, get things going and everything. In the future, a lot of our stuff this year, like I said, just being a different team, we're kind of staying a little more low key, but some courses that give us an opportunity to excel and build some confidence, and especially into our region championships. We compete in one of the best regions in the entire country for track and field and cross country. Most of the years, you see either a national champion from our conference or definitely, 3 or 4 teams in the top 10 in cross country and track, everything. So it's always very competitive, and that's really good for our kids because they have to compete against the best in regular season competition, essentially. So then when it comes to the national championships, they're not in shock and they're not scared out there. So that's really successful for us. But Richmond, Virginia is where nationals is at this year. Our goal is to, get as many there as we can. And we're excited for that challenge. Like I said, it's a different challenge this year, but we're really excited to see what we can accomplish and how far we can get this year.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Coach. Good luck this season.
Thank you.
The cross-country team continues its season tomorrow when they head down to Claremore, Oklahoma for the Rogers State Distance After Dark, hosted by MIAA school Rogers State University. Rankings for the cross-country team come out this afternoon. On to the volleyball team, who started out the season ranked 15th in the nation in the National Junior College Athletics Association. The team has started 2-4 this year after losing a lot of leadership from last season's team, including an All-American, and losing another player to injury who was expected to lead the backline. Coach Lizianne Matzdorf said that the early part of the season has been a learning experience for the entire team, with a lot of her sophomores being forced to step into new roles of leadership that they weren't previously expecting. The volleyball squad continues action in the Kansas Jayhawk Conference tonight by heading to Kansas City to take on Kansas City, Kansas Community College. The men's soccer team, defending co-champions of the Kansas Jayhawk Conference, started out the season ranked 19th in the nation and currently sit at 1-1 on the season. They head to Pratt this Saturday to kick off conference play and look to reclaim their title that they took down the last 2 years. The women's soccer team is also off to a 1-1 start, having been ranked number 8 in the nation in preseason rankings, and they also head to Pratt this season to open up Kansas Jayhawk Conference play. Head to goneosho.com for more information, statistics, rosters, and schedules for all of our teams, and we look forward to seeing you in Panther Gymnasium or out at the high school sports complex for one of our games. And that concludes the continued Spotlight on Education presented by Neosho County Community College. My name is Huntyr Schwegman, and I'd like to thank you all for listening today. Tune in next week as we highlight more programs and events happening at NCCC. Go Show!